This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
We are joined by Paige Zappia, excited that she's here as the owner of the Beach Picnic Company located in beautiful Naples, Florida. We're going to talk more to her about her company, which is born out of both passion and purpose, which really helps people create unforgettable coastal experiences while inspiring other women to design the life they love. So there's a lot that you have to offer, and we're excited you're here with us. Give us a little overview as to what the Beach Picnic Company is all about.
So we originally started with being, a simple luxury beach picnic. Anything as far as birthdays, bachelorette parties, anniversaries, proposals, date nights, anything of that nature. And then we kind of started to tap into the wedding market a little bit because who doesn't love a luxury beach picnic wedding? But it allows us to have more of a micro wedding, which is something that a lot of people are looking for these days because they don't want to have a big price tag on that special day. So that's something that we really love a lot now.
And you mentioned it's not just weddings, it's date nights, it's bachelorette parties, it's so much more.
Literally, we could do everything. I mean, there's been gender reveals. It's just something fun. It's different. It's not like your typical, let's just go to a room and, put some decor up and celebrate there. It's like the venue itself is the beach. Like, how much more beautiful can you get than that?
Beautiful. Well, let's dive back a little bit on you. Where did you grow up and how did you get into this field, if you don't mind sharing with us?
I'm actually born and raised in Naples, Florida. So this is my hometown and I love it here. It's
Really?
literally paradise. Yeah, I'm one of the few. So I've seen all of the changes.
Oh my goodness.
Um, how I got into it though is because it's really everything. I ended up having my son, who's now almost 3 years old, and I worked for corporate for Hilton for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Literally basically my entire career from when I was 19 until I started this company. And it allowed me to be able to be a mom
Yeah.
and be able to still have my work ethic, and because I'm a workaholic by nature, as much as I love being a mom, it kind of lets me have my own purpose, although
How old are
I
your
was never
kids?
expecting it. I just have a 3-year-old boy.
Amazing. Oh my goodness. Continue. Go
Exactly.
ahead.
um, so this just really allowed me to be able to be mom, have my own thing going on, because you know how motherhood can be, you kind of can get lost in it and not have your own identity, and it
Oh
allowed
yeah.
me to kind of escape, but do something that I also love. And I love being creative. This allows me to put that creativity into everything, and all the details really matter. So that is something that, with being creative really
Yeah.
helps a lot with.
Beautiful. I just want to mention, I think I hear some, I don't know if it's background noise in the background. I'm hearing something. I don't know if it's an echo or someone else is talking. Just want to make sure so it sounds the best. Do you hear anything?
It, I don't from your end. You
Okay.
do from my end.
Maybe it's like an echo coming from the ear pods or something. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're able to. I hear nothing, only when you're talking. But
It's because I'm in a coffee shop,
that's why. Okay, I hear background noise. Okay.
but I couldn't move.
No problem, no problem, no problem. We'll just drown it out. Don't worry. Nothing you can do about that. You need the internet there. Maybe that's, maybe that's why it's a little sketchy, but all good. Let's get going and talk more about your inspiration. I was reading about your mentor and I know your childhood. Could you share a little bit about your late father?
Of course. So yeah, my father passed away when I was 19 years old, and he was definitely my best friend. But um, growing up, I always worked next to my dad. Not that I needed to; I was young, but I like went to his job sites with him. I helped him do stuff, and it was hard labor. He was a tile worker, and it allowed me to really get work ethic. Just from being young. I worked for everything that I always had. Not that I wasn't spoiled; I totally was. But if I really wanted something, I had to work for it. And growing up in Naples, that's not how a lot of children are raised here, but it is how I was raised. And I'm actually very thankful for that, because everything that I had created or I do have now, like, I know I worked so hard for it. And it just gives you something different to be proud of with yourself than if somebody just handed you something. So
Beautiful.
yes, my father definitely was my mentor for as many years as he could be. And tr truthfully, it still leads in into what I do now. So much of that, you know, um, love and care and mentorship that he gave me fully goes into my company with even how I treat my own employees. They are more than just an employee to me.
Yeah,
They
of
are a
course.
friend. I am like more than a boss. Not that I can't be a boss when I
Yeah.
need to be, but like my door's always open if anything's going on. They know that they can come to me. They're not going to get in trouble. It's come. It just handled how things should be handled because I think management is very important in
Got
that
it.
regard.
So I know it's got to be so hard to become an entrepreneur, right? And as a new mom, so as hard as that was, the most rewarding part of it, right? How did you start this? It's got to be so hard to balance everything. If you don't mind sharing how you did it.
So honestly, originally how it started, I was sitting by the pool with my husband, and I almost had to go back to work, because that period of getting to stay home with baby was coming to an end, and I was like, I thought I'd be able to do it, and then the time was coming, and I was like, there's no way I can do that. So I had to pivot and figure something else out, and that's kind of when the beach picnics started, coming in my head, and I was told my husband, and he's like, you know what, let's do it. If anything, it's just a loss, but we're still young, we can figure it out. And I was like, okay, so I had him on my team ready to help me fulfill those dreams. And honestly, it took off like a rocket. But balancing the mom life actually wasn't as bad because now I didn't have to work, corporate hours, working 60 hours a week. I got to physically be there with my son, still do what I needed to do with my husband's help, obviously, because in my head, my husband works during the day and I work at night. Typically, our pickups are around sunset time. So
Hmm.
he could watch the baby while I go work, and then I watch the baby while he works. And it was just a perfect plan for us to have in place to start it.
Beautiful. Well, let's get started and dive into, three areas of work that we're going to focus on for today. So really, we talked a little bit about building the business from scratch and as a mom and entrepreneur. And let's talk about, the aspect of creating affordability. You say luxury experiences for all celebrations, and let's dive into some of them. Thank you.
Yeah, so as far as affordability, that's kind of where I want to separate myself from so many other companies, whether it comes from picnicking or it becomes from weddings, because I think that it's very important to be able to have a special celebration and not have this crazy hefty price tag. I'm a person who, if I can give that to you for a good price and it works
Hmm.
for all parties and I stay fully booked all the time, I am totally happy with that. So definitely when it comes to weddings, I know so many, people that do these events. They hear whether it's a florist or it's a photographer, whatever it is, they hear
Hmm.
wedding and they're like, okay, times that by three, add some wedding
Yeah,
packs, and this is the number. And I mean, I got married and that's how it was for me. And I just thought it was crazy. Like, who's going to spend $30,000 on flowers? Obviously, some people, but like the
I
average
know.
person, no. So that's where I was like, you know what? I'm not going to charge a wedding tax. I'm going to charge what I charge all of my other customers and not just make it affordable. If you want to have 10 people and just do an intimate wedding, great. If you want to do 50, great. What's your budget? Let's figure out exactly what we can do, and really work with my brides with that. The wedding coordinator for the day of is included. There's so many different things that are included for us, and it became a very seamless experience because starting from picnics, we have all of our vendors, we have our caterers, we have our live music, we have our officiants, we have everything already. So all we needed to do was add more people to be able to fit things. And other than that, I mean, that was easy. That's just ordering a couple things, and there we go. Um, so the affordability aspect to me is just important because I want, especially weddings and brides and grooms, to be able to start their next chapter with a little bit of savings in their pocket. Like, why spend everything you possibly have for this beautiful wedding for one day when if they come to us, it's a lot more affordable. And being in Naples, yes, the hotels do it, but I'm pretty sure their minimums are like $50,000, whether you have 10 people or you have 100 people. So that is something that separates us from.
Beautiful. All right, you're starting to break up just a little bit there
Hey,
again. Let me also dive in a little bit further to, the work that you're doing. Can you hear me? Hello, hello? Yeah, you're just glitching just a little bit. I
I
want
can
to
hear
talk.
you. Can you hear
Perfect.
me?
Yes, I want to hear a little bit more about specifics. You started the business when, and let me find out, how it works. I would love to hear some testimonials, and I mean, maybe next time if we can, show your screen, I would love to share some of the photos and pictures and videos that you have from the beach picnic. But I just want people to really be able to see and understand the how many
Absolutely.
different things you do and different packages there are, which we're going to get to, from the weddings to the proposals to the picnics in general, but it's some beautiful, beautiful things.
So, um, wait, which part are we talking about? You want me to talk about packages and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just, when I visited your website before, I saw all the different type of themes that you do. And, for listeners out there, really to get an insight to, what it's all about, what beaches are we on? And I know the way you decorate is just gorgeous.
Yeah, okay. So we host all of our events in downtown Naples, which is, Fifth Avenue in that general area. We do it there because it's a it's just beautiful. It's what Naples is kind of known for. It's considered old Naples. And how the packages and everything work. So there's several things we have. Basically, how the booking process is clients will go onto our website, they'll view all of the beautiful things that we do have. There's so many to choose from. I know it's very hard. But they choose a theme, they let us know, they send an inquiry, let us know, the date, how many people, any special details that they'd like. And we really let, whether it's the picnics or the weddings, we let them curate their own. So we kind of start with a little bit of a base, whether you have 2 people, 4 people, or 5 to 8 guests for our picnics. And then for the weddings, you can do ceremony or reception. Um, and that allows us to create exactly what you want. We'll then send you menus, whether you want to do our on-site catering chef or you want to do some charcuterie, some finger foods. If you want to add on a photographer, you want to do real flowers, you want to have live music, whether it's our violinist or our saxophonist. There is basically a menu that you can choose from for pick and pull apart from wherever and literally create your own for the exact vision you have. So that allows me to start with a base price for everybody and you add exactly what you would like to have included after that.
Beautiful. And I know they can do all
So,
these
and
different.
a lot of
Oh,
guests do ask kind of what's included.
one more
And
time,
I
the
will
guests
say
ask
what is
what type of
included
what?
is basically everything that you possibly what type of and the answer to that is everything that they would need to have a successful picnic or wedding besides the food and the drinks. So those are the biggest add-ons that people do traditionally add on.
I love it. And then I saw the flower arrangements, the roses, the charcuterie boards. There's a lot that we could offer people. And just curious, what beaches are you using? Is it strictly in Naples or do you travel in Florida? Just let me know some of the location areas and where people get to choose from.
Right now, we strictly do Naples in downtown. That is the only beach that we do. We have traveled to Bonita if people do own oceanfront property and it makes this easy to unload, set up everything that we need to do, then we're more happy to go to whether it's Fort Myers, Bonita, or Naples. But if they don't have oceanfront property, then we do strictly Naples downtown.
Beautiful. And for
And we
those,
do that for a few different reasons. A lot of our clientele that comes down here, when it comes to parking, restrooms, all of that becomes a question. But we have figured all of that out. We do work with a church that's right next to our beach that we host all of our events at. So that allows for a seamless parking arrangements, restroom arrangements, which is a big concern for people when they're having these big events.
amazing. And also, is there like a fee to rent out the beach? Are we like, how does that part work just with the town? Is there a limit on timing on where, just curious, 'cause I don't know anything about Florida beaches. Are you able to set up in the same spot?
Yeah, so we do set up in the same spot. We do have to pull permits. The permits we pull on our clients' behalf, so that is included in our prices already. But there is strict rules, so that is why we say 50 is our maximum, because that's kind of the maximum amount that we're allowed to pull as far as a permit goes, for the beach. But yes, so we do pull permits for every event that we do. That way there's no questions asked. However, beach patrol knows this very well. They see us all the time. But we do take those, those precautions.
And tell me about the weather in Naples. Are there times where it rains? Is there rain dates or what happens in inclement weather? Just curious how that works.
Yeah, for sure. Great question. So there's a couple different options. Now, obviously, when it's not in rain season in Florida, there's a very minimum chance that you will get rained out. However, we do advise any of our picnics or our weddings to have a plan B. Most of our picnics, they'll just use their plan B, whether it's their covered patio, they'll, maybe rearrange their living room. We bring all of the aesthetics, the whole vibe, still the umbrellas, everything like that to whatever that indoor location may be. As far as weddings go, we typically work with Baker Park, which is the park just about a 10-15 minute drive from our actual beach location, still located in downtown Naples. It's gorgeous. So that's kind of our plan B that we have them reserve. We also help them on that behalf if they would like to go that route. Um, it gets hard when you want to redo an actual wedding because there's only, maybe a 24-hour span you have to
Yeah.
redo that. If we absolutely needed to, we could, but most of the time it is a plan B. We're going to go to the rain location. But we haven't, knock on wood, had any issues with that as far as weddings, even picnics go. I think I've maybe done 2 picnics that we had to relocate, and that's in rainy season. So we don't deal with that too often, thankfully.
Wow. And let me ask you about the importance of, customer service, customer experience, and personalization. I know you really hold those values true with you and your company.
Yes, honestly, customer service is everything. Working in the corporate world taught me a lot about that. But I brought it into this company because you don't know how many times I've answered my phone and somebody says, finally, somebody's answered their phone or even giving me a call back. And I mean, everybody's always on their phone. It takes 2 seconds to kind of text somebody back, message them back, or whatever the case is. So that is huge for me. And you don't know how much clientele I have gained just from simply answering my phone. Um, but yes, it's even a little bit more than that, like making them feel like you want them to be your client, making them feel welcomed and just kind of cared for. It goes a really long way. And even my employees, when they're at a picnic and they're setting up for our clients and everybody's there, why not take a quick photo for them? Have a little mini photo session, like nobody else is there to take their photo, their whole group's there. It shows how much you really care. And it takes 2 seconds to do those simple little things. So that is something that not just me, you start with me, you're talking to me, you're booking it through, but it then leads into how you're actually going to be taken care of the day that you are hosting an event with us. And it matters a lot to me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, to kind of sum up for today, I would love to ask you, just a little bit about words of inspiration, words of encouragement for today before we wrap up. What would you like to share with everyone out there who's considering, who wants that special moment? And this is a great idea. I honestly, in New York, never heard of this. This is just beautiful because you got the beach, you got the sand, but even this type of venue, like personalized. I'm loving it because you can also include photography, videography. There's so many things, and it's affordable.
Exactly. Yeah. So my inspirational quote is definitely don't wait for the perfect moment, create it. Everything big starts with one small brave step. Now that could be for many things, whether it's just your personal life, your business life. Obviously, for me, that definitely has a lot to do with business because um, if I waited on doing what I was going to do, I would not be where I am today. And I just thoroughly stand by that. But I think it's very important to create, something that you never thought was possible because it is. And it took me a long time to be one of those believers, but here I am today. And I just think that everybody should definitely know that.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so
The
much. Now
smallest
let's
baby
find
step
out
that
how
you
we.
take will get you
Oh,
very far.
one more time.
The smallest baby step you take will take you very far, and you just don't even know where that will lead you.
Yeah. So true. All right. Well, let's find out how we can contact you. Would you mind sharing the website, phone number, or any social media pages?
Yeah, we have a couple of different options. So our phone number is 239 255-5880. Our website is thebeachpicnicco.com. And our social media is thebeachpicnic_co.com. Or sorry, thebeachpicnic_co is our
Perfect.
Instagram. We have Facebook too. It's the Beach Picnic Co. Email naples@thebeachpicnicco.com. Honestly, if you go to our website, you can contact us there on our contact us page, and it will send us an immediate email.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here and for doing what you do. Enjoy the rest of your day and looking forward to the next time we connect. I would love to see some pictures next time of some of the events. Maybe if we can share the screen, I think it would be beautiful to see some of
I think
what I can
that's
see on the
great.
website. We'll do it next time, okay?
Really, that and some live action.
Perfect. Sounds good, sweetie. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.